Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie and I'm a foster adoptive mom of 3 kids, ages 4 through 12. I always forget because we've had some birthdays recently. On my YouTube channel, I share a lot of practical tips and advice for foster and adoptive families. So if you're interested in any of that, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. But today I have something very different to share with you. It is regarding foster care and adoption. But this is my first ever interview on my channel, and today I'm interviewing Cami Teacoach, and she's from the organization called VolunTOTs and also VolunTOTs. So we're going to share a little bit with you today what this organization does, who they are, how they got started, but more importantly, a way that you can get involved in helping out foster kids and their bio parents this holiday season. So today we have a guest on the channel, as I mentioned, and her name is Cami, and she works with an organization called VolunTOTs. So I'm going to let Cami kind of introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her, where she's from. So if you can go ahead and do that, that'd be great.
Sure. So first off, thank you so much for having me. Longtime fan. Love your channel. So my name is Cami. Hi. I live in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I have 2 kids, both biological. And I have a background in social work. I got my undergraduate degree was actually in journalism. My graduate degree, however, is in social work and public health. And so I was an outpatient therapist. I was a program coordinator at a therapeutic preschool. And then in December of 2017, shortly after I'd had my first son, my dad was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So between that and my son had some feeding trouble and needed feeding therapy, I decided to step away from full-time work at that point. So it would have been around February of 2021. I started looking around for opportunities to volunteer with my then 3.5-year-old. And I would say, I have this 3-year-old, he'd love to volunteer, he'd love to help. And people were like, ha, 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 oh, you're serious. And and I was like, no, really, like if you have had a 3-year-old, if you're kind of familiar with the nature of a 3-year-old, is that yes, they are a lot, but they also kind of have this innate desire to not only do things themselves, but also to help.
Mm-hmm.
And so I recognized that, and I knew that my son had that. And so in February of 2021, I decided that I wanted to, what I said at the time was start a club for volunteering. And my husband was like, oh, you want to volunteer with your friends? And I was like, yeah, huh? So I was like, I'll make the Facebook group, because in my head, I was like, it would be really annoying to like manage a text chain of 30 people.
Yeah.
So I started the Facebook group. And so I did that on like a Thursday afternoon. And by Monday, we had 500 people in the Facebook group.
That is
So
so
like,
awesome. Like
yeah.
you just had this like whim, you're like, I'm gonna do this, and
Mhm.
people just responded to it so well. That's so cool.
Yeah. And it was amazing. And so I pretty quickly was like, oh, we need people were like looking at me to do something. So I was like, so I cold called a few nursing homes in the area. And I was like, this is Cami with VolunTOTs. Can we send some Valentines to your residents? Because it was, in the midst of the surge in 2021 with
Yeah.
COVID. So they're like, what? Volun who? What? What do you want to do? And but they accepted. And so I just posted in the Facebook group, if you decide to participate in this event, please, if you feel comfortable, post pictures of your kid making the Valentines. And so people did, and they posted and posting and posting and posting and posting and posting and posting and posting. And so I said, oh, this is a thing now.
Wow.
So then we followed that up in March 2021. We made 3,000 thank you baggies for our healthcare heroes to mark 1 year of COVID. And we kind of haven't really slowed down since.
That is incredible. Like I just love how it just took off. It was like you had
Yeah.
this idea, you just wanted your kid to volunteer. And then you were like, you know what? I guess I could do like a group. And then it just kind of exploded. And I mean, it just shows that there are more people who are looking for things to volunteer their kids with, like I think
Yeah.
there's other people probably recognize too, like my daughter was 3 and even now at 4, she wants to help with everything and she's actually mad if she can't. So,
Mhm.
like I think that's really cool that you guys kind of harnessed that innate desire to help and
Yeah.
then it just kind of blew up. So that's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really I'm just so interested that, you just came up with that and then it was like, bam, everybody was, well, you said it was like a few days and then it like blew up and people were, yeah,
Yeah. And then local news started calling and the newspaper and our local news stations and print video. And it was kind of like, oh, um, cool. Not where I thought this was going.
right.
It's so funny because if you think about the way that kind of like your path takes you, I never thought that I would be doing. So in social work, there's direct practice and there's community organizing. So I specialized in direct practice. I was a therapist. I was like, I'm never going to do community organizing. Well, guess what?
Yeah, you ended up kind of
Everything I
falling into
do.
it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So that I just, yeah, I love that kind of heart behind it and the idea of getting kids involved and serving the community. So I'm really excited to partner with you. But before we kind of jump into the opportunity we have for people like viewers, you guys will get a chance to help out with this. So we'll get into that part in a little bit. But first, I just want to ask, like, what are some of the service activities that you've done so far, and which was your favorite that you've done?
So we did the 3,000 thank you baggies. So in our area, there is a crisis nursery center called Jeremiah's Place.
Okay.
And so they take kids, like they were open 100% through the pandemic. Nurses and doctors and, essential workers sent their kids there because they still had to go to work. Um,
Right.
and they do a lot of like work with foster parents and people who need daycare in an emergency situation. And so every time a kid comes in to their program, they get a welcome bag. So we've done this twice now. So we did last year, we did 200, and this year we did 160 welcome bags for Jeremiah's Place. And last year we called it Christmas in July, and we had Elsa come.
Oh, that's so
It
fun.
lost their
I bet they did.
so that was their favorite. And then we did 200 Thanksgiving food boxes. And we're doing that again this year, but we're actually expanding, and we instead of one location, we have 4.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. We did a Christmas, we helped Bethany Christian Services do a Christmas party for kids in foster care. I think that my favorite, I really enjoy whenever we're able to get outside. We do a lot of stuff with, we have wonderful community gardens, urban gardens in Pittsburgh, and we've been able to partner with them. We've done, we've harvested, we've planted. In April, we went down and we had a whole like worm lesson. So we talked about like the importance of worms and why are worms in your garden and what do they do?
Yeah.
Do they help? Um, so Gardens of Millvale, they always do the best events because the garden manager there is a mom. And so she knows what works and what doesn't and how to keep the kids engaged.
Yeah.
So our events with Gardens of Millvale are always really, really top notch.
That's great. I think it's cool the variety of things you've gotten to do and just all the experiences that your kids have probably had because of this and all the other kids as well. But I was kind of curious, like what has been like something you've noticed develop in your children from having these volunteer experiences? What has been the coolest part about watching them be involved?
The coolest part has been the sense of pride that they feel. All of the volunteer activities that we do have a tangible, you can look at the end of it and see.
Mm,
So like we did backpacks. So again, in Pittsburgh, there's a fantastic nonprofit called Hello Neighbor, and they assist refugee and immigrant families who come
oh,
in
wow.
to our area. So we did 75 backpacks with new school supplies for them earlier in the summer. And so being able to kind of look at the mountain of backpacks and being like, you did that, or looking at the 200 Thanksgiving food boxes and saying, you did that. Um, And a lot of parents have actually reported, and I want to do a study about this because my social worker, my like
Yeah.
brain, parents have said that they have seen an improvement in behavior after VolunTOTs events.
Wow. I think
Mhm.
that's really cool. I could see how it would empower kids to be like, I can make a positive difference.
Yep.
And like, kids can see that they can make a positive difference in little ways, like if a friend drops something and they help them pick it up. But I
Mhm.
think to be able to see it in such a, like you said, a big scale that they can look and be like, I helped pack these 200 things, it's like, that is kind of crazy for a 3 or 4 year old to be able to see that and say, wow, I'm making a big difference. And so I could definitely understand why that would happen. I think you should do a study about that. That'd be
Thank you. If anyone out here is watching this and you are a psychologist, social work, sociologist, researcher, please reach out to me.
yeah. I think that'd be great. And it might get more people involved. They're like, if my kid's gonna behave
I
better, I want to get
know.
them involved in this.
That was, and I mean, obviously that was never like the end goal, but it was just kind of along the way. Like multiple people who do not talk to each other have said, like, yeah, my kid's behavior for like the whole weekend was so
Wow.
positively impacted after your event. I'm like, hope
Well,
to come back.
I've heard a study done before where they talked about how, like, and this was for adults, but our happiness, if we spend time volunteering or helping others, is actually much higher than if we were to get like a several $1,000 raise at our job. We all think like if I was making more money, I would be happier, but like they've studied people and like they, said, okay, after you volunteered, they were like happier because they knew that they were making a positive impact.
Yeah,
So,
so when I was a therapist actually, and I would see, in community mental health, you see the gamut of people. You see, whoever comes through the door. And I would actually prescribe volunteering to people. I would
yeah,
get on my computer and we would go on Volunteer Match, and I would say, what are you interested? You interested in animals? You interested in helping feed people? What are your interests? And then we could kind of go to on Volunteer Match and say like, oh, the animal shelter needs people to cuddle cats, or you know
that sounds pretty therapeutic. I mean, I'm slightly allergic, but it still sounds fun.
there are a lot of other opportunities
Yeah.
that do not involve sticking your face in something you're allergic to.
Right, right, right. I think that's really interesting. It totally makes sense to me. Like just giving people that sense of purpose of helping other people. It's really powerful. And especially for a kid to feel like, a lot of times kids know they're relying on us and they need us for a lot of stuff. But 3 and 4 year olds are like, I'm gonna do it by myself. So I think that's kind of cool that they get the opportunity to make such a big difference. Okay, so now I want to kind of talk about this is for the people watching. This is a way that you could actually get involved. You don't have to be an official VolunTOTs member to do this. You don't have to live in the area that Cami is from. Like, I don't live in that area. So I'm getting involved in this to share this opportunity with you guys. Cami reached out to me and I was really excited about what they were doing. So why don't you go ahead and share just kind of this opportunity people have to get involved with over the holiday season?
Sure. So, a lot of people want to help over the holidays. And as I've said, I am a biological parent of two, love kids, would adopt a football team, hate being pregnant. And so that is kind of on mine and my husband's horizon. And so I follow a lot of foster care people, Katie
Mhm.
included. And so I was looking a few months ago, scrolling the Instagram, and I came across Laura, who's foster dot parenting. And she spoke about kind of the sorry state of visitation rooms.
Mhm.
And I was like, and this is kind of how everything with volunteers has been for me so far. I was looking at the phone, I was like, oh, someone should really do something about that. Wait, I can do something about that. and I was like, wait, you kind of have a tiny army at your disposal.
Literally a tiny army.
Literally a tiny army. So we have come up with our project. We are calling it the Bridge to Home Project because Pittsburgh is the city of bridges. And we will be encouraging, helping families, parents, grandparents, helpers from all across the country go in and we will help you identify your local foster care agency. We'll help you identify, we'll connect you to whoever you need to be connected to be able to go in and with their help to kind of not only kind of fix up the room, but also we will ask kids to do, a toy clean out, a book clean out. I've had a few people say to me, oh, you should really wait until like after the holidays because a lot of like grandparents go a little bit overboard with gifts. Yeah. So if you like need to like quietly get rid of half of the junk that your in-laws bring your kids, take it to your
there you go.
Take it to the Bridgestone project. So we will have okay, let me back up for a minute. So we have had such wonderful success with VolunTOTs that in November of 2021 we expanded into VolunTICs. Okay. And so tots are ages 3 through kindergarten. Tykes are grades 1 through 5. So our tykes will actually be the ones who will be able to go in, and if your local agency says, oh, we could really need like a new coat of paint, some artwork hanging. I've been talking to an OT to talk about how she can help people figure out like a calm down corner or ways to kind of handle the big feelings that come with a visitation. So the tykes will kind of be doing the more hands-on like grunt work. Mm-hmm. And the tots will be, and this is an idea from Courtney, who is at Praying for Reunification. She suggested that we do craft kits that the kids in care and their bio parent can do together. So our tots will be putting those together.
I love that idea. Just give them something to do and like maybe take home and remember the visit. That's
really cool. Something for your hands to do. So we really want to hear from everybody in the adoption triad for this project. Mm-hmm. So if you are a bio parent and you feel comfortable, shoot me an email. Would love to hear from you. If you are an adoptee, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you about what you would want to see in a visitation room. And so we will kind of be the intermediary between people who are interested in helping and people who need the help. So we are working with some wonderful influencers all across the country to kind of get the word out. So we have Jamie, who's Family and Coffee. I mentioned Courtney, Praying for Unification, Laura, Foster Parenting, Rin, who is Substitute Mom.
And I'll put all of these in the description for people watching so that you can find them.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have some really fantastic foster care influencers who have signed on to help us as consultants, but we are always looking for more people. We welcome opinions. I will be interviewing some birth parents down at a program that's in the Pittsburgh area to make sure that, like I said, we really want to hear from everybody about what this should look like to be optimally, helpful.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I think this is such a cool idea. And just that, again, you just saw a need and you were like, somebody should do something. And then you realized, oh, I can do that. Like, and I think that's so powerful to just be able to recognize a need and then find a way to do it. And I think the way you're going about it is so cool, including everyone in the triad and really figuring out how it could help people. I know my daughter, she's 12 and she was in foster care for quite a few years. And I was telling her about this and she was like, that is really cool. Because I think a lot of times, when she would go to these visitation places, they weren't that nice. And it was just not really like a comfortable environment. And so it was cool to see her excitement about possibly helping out with that too. And so I think for those of you that either have adopted kids who watch this or have foster kids who watch this, I think getting them involved could be really cool because they feel like they can make a difference for other kids who are in the same spot that they were in or that they are in. And I think that could be really powerful. So I'm super excited about this. And I was kind of curious if people want to get involved with this, like a viewer's watching, they're like, I would love to do this. What are kind of the steps that they should take to get involved?
So you can shoot me an email, which I'm assuming you will put down.
Yes, I will put down. Yep.
So shoot me an email, let me know, your location, where you live, your family, your kids, and I will kind of be the intermediary to make sure that we have the information, as much information from across, the country. I mean, shoot, if you're in Canada, if you're if you're international, we can try to figure something out.
Right. Might as well try.
Might as well try. I mean, that's another one of my mottos for VolunTOTs, which is, I don't know, figure it out.
I love that.
So yeah, shoot me an email, let me know where you're from, and I will work to get you connected with who you need to talk to.
Okay.
We also have a fantastic resource, Together We Rise, which is a national foster care awareness nonprofit, is also working with us to help get the word out. So if I don't know, they will.
That's great. I think that's so great you can partner with them.
I mean, when they email me back, I mean, honestly, like anytime anyone has emailed me back about this, I've kind of been like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. I expected they would email me back.
Yes.
It's been like such an honor that people believe in us and want to help us on this project.
Well, and I know I contacted actually the visitation area in my town recently to just kind of ask them like some needs that they had, because I was kind of curious after talking with you, and they were so shocked that someone wanted to help them. I mean, it was kind of sad. They were like, "Wow, we don't usually get people who want to help us." Like, she's like, "It's extremely rare that we would actually get someone asking to do volunteer work here." So she was really excited about it. So I'm actually meeting with her and she's going to like walk me through the facility and show me stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool that she was just open to that. And I noticed too online with ours, they had a wish list already online. So that was really cool to just see and be like, even if people maybe don't want to have to go through like all the channels, they could at least donate something very easily if they can find a list and donate something, and maybe contact you, let you know that they're doing it and stuff. That could be a really cool way as well. So I think just calling her and hearing her enthusiasm and just shock that we were reaching out made me realize just how important this is, because it's like they're not used to getting the help, and that's sad. That's sad that they're not getting that.
Yeah. So in calling it the Bridge to Home Project, we recognize that the point of reunification is the goal until it's not, right? And so when we say bridge to home, we understand that this is temporary, and we understand that the goal for the kids who are in care and the bio parents is that they will be reunited. Right. And how can we say that we are working on reunification, that we take these parents' goals seriously, when the toys are broken, the books are ripped up, the chairs are uncomfortable and hard? How can we say that we are truly supporting reunification if the message that we are sending through these rooms themselves, because environments speak, the message that we are sending is, well, you're just an addict, you're just crazy, you're XYZ. But if we can show parents, bio parents, that there are strangers across the country who care about their well-being, who care about their success, I truly believe that we could positively impact reunification rates.
Right. Well, and I'm just thinking too, if you have foster children coming from a home, like a foster home that's pretty nice, that they have nice toys there and they have nice books, and then when they're visiting their bio parent and they're in this terrible room with, like you said, broken toys and everything, that does form a connection in their minds of like, this family is good and has nice things, and this is bad and we don't have nice things. So I think like even being able to have those, good toys and good books, like it can create that connection in the kid's mind of, oh, like this is good too. Being with this person, my bio parent, I can have a good time and I feel safe and I feel like I have things to play with, and all of that. So I think that's really just such a cool idea. And honestly, like being perfectly honest, it's an idea I never would have even thought of. So I'm glad that you thought of it and, took action on what you saw. Cause I was like, the one for my county, like the visitation center, it's in my town. I don't even think I knew it was here. Like, I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen that building. This is not a big town. So I'm like, it was just cool to be made aware of it. And so, and I know like I already have people I've reached out to at a church that are interested in doing it. And so, just cool to see like how the community can come together and make a difference for people who are kind of often forgotten. I think a lot of times we focus on the kids in the adoption triad, or we focus on adoptive families or foster families. So I think this is a great way to serve those bio parents. So I just thank you for coming up, with this whole plan to put your tiny army to work. So
I've seen a lot of bio parents in my, career, and they're not bad people. They've had horrible things happen to them. A lot of them were in the foster care system themselves. And it's so easy to forget about them because everyone else has. But we want to send the message that we haven't forgotten about you, and you can do this. You can get clean. You can, sustain your mental health, and we're going to be there for you.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that's why it is just so important. So unless you have anything else you would like to share or kind of express about this program, I'd love to know how people can kind of follow along with you. Maybe you can mention what the Facebook group is called, or like I said, I'll put your email below, but what's a good way for people to follow along with your journey?
So we have a beautiful website. It's VolunTOTspgh.org. I will be honest, I need to be better about updating it. So like I said, we kind of started out with this Facebook group, and that's still very much the best way to stay connected with us. So that's our Facebook page is VolunTOTs of Pittsburgh. And then our Instagram handle is VolunTOTs SWPA, VolunTOTs of Southwestern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
We started as VolunTOTs of Pittsburgh, and then people kind of in surrounding areas here were like, well, what about us? And I was like, oh, good point. So so we rebranded to VolunTOTs of Southwestern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
But on Facebook, they wouldn't let me change that.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I think this could be a cool opportunity too. Like maybe someone in a totally different part of the country is like, I want to start my own chapter here. How can I do that? So yeah, definitely reach out to Cami if you have any questions. I'm sure you'd be happy to help them.
Absolutely.
Get connected. So I'm so excited to see where this goes. And again, I just appreciate your willingness to come up with a solution and do something. So I'm very excited. So
me too.
Well, thanks so much for being a part of this. And I hope those of you watching will get involved somehow. I know we're working on getting involved here, and I'm just excited to see. Also, I want to say, if you do it, please tag me on Instagram, because I would love to see. You can either do it on my Adopt Informed one or on my normal La Casa de Katie one. I would just love to be able to see how many of you guys decide to do this. So keep me posted and keep Cami posted and let us know. So
yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love this idea that Cami has. I am super excited to be a part of it and to get a group together to help do this. And I hope that you are too. So if you are thinking of getting involved with this, I would love you to put in the comments, I want to join, just so I know. I would love to see who in the comment section is actually planning to take action on this or wants to get involved. I just think that'd be really cool to see. And if you want to get involved, remember I'm putting Cami's information below so you can contact her if you're interested. As always, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps more people find this video, and this video especially, I want as many people as possible to find so that we can make a bigger difference in our communities. Well, that's all I've got for today, so thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.